going to be looking at using the grid method to multiply 2-digit numbers by 1-digit numbers and 3-digit numbers by 1-digit numbers. So today I've got two questions. I've got 37 times 4 and 456 times 9. So, as my learning objective says, grid method, it is going to involve drawing a grid. So I've set out my grid here for question 1. Now, I take the first number in my calculation, 37, and I need to partition it or split it into the tens and the ones that make up 37. So in this case, I've got 30 and 7, 37. Now the second number in my calculation is 4, which is called the multiplier. I put the multiplier in this column here. I've now set out my grid to work out this sum. So, first of all, I'm going to do 30 times 4. Now to make it a little bit easier, I could do 3 times 4, which I know is 12, and then I need to add my 0 back on by making it 10 times bigger. So 30 times 4 is 120. Next, I've got to do 7 times 4, which is 28. Now, I could do 120 plus 28 mentally in my head, or I could write it down. So 120 plus 28. Well, I know 0 plus 8 is 8. 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 plus 0 is 1. So my answer to this calculation is going to be 148. Okay, let's have a look at number 2. So we've got 456 times 9. Okay, so I'm going to partition 456 into 400, 50 and 6, and my multiplier is 9. Right, I've got to start by doing 400 multiplied by 9. So I can do 4 times 9 to begin with, which is 36. And then I've got to make my answer 100 times bigger. So I need to add that back onto my answer. And 136 made 100 times bigger is 3,600. Okay. Next, I've got to do 50 times 9. So 5 times 9 is 45. And I've got to make my answer 10 times bigger, so that's going to be 450. And then finally, 6 times 9 is 54. Right, now I've got to add them using column addition. So I'm going to add 3,600 plus 450, making sure that you line up your columns, and 54. Okay. So starting with my ones, 0 plus 0 plus 4 equals 4. 0 plus 5 plus 5. Now that's 10. So I'm going to put my 0 in the tens column and carry that 1 into my hundreds. Now I've got 6 plus 4 plus 1, which is 11. So I'm going to put the ones in there and carry that 1 into my hundreds. Now I've got 3 plus 1, which is 4. So my answer to this question is 4,104. Okay, now I've got some examples for you to try. Now using the grid method. So you may want to pause the video now while you have a go. Okay then, hopefully you had a go at working all of those out. Number 1, 46 times 3. So if I go to my working out over here, hopefully you should have partitioned 46 into 40 and 6. multiplier goes in the left-hand column. So 40 times 3 is 120. And then 6 times 3 is 18. So 120 plus 18 is 138. Number 2, 341 is partitioned into 300, 40 and 1. My multiplier is 5. So 300 times 5, well, 3 times 5 I know is 15. Make my answer 100 times bigger because there are 2 zeros in my question, which I need to add back on. 40 times 5, well, 4 times 5 is 20. Add the 0 that's in my question back on, 200. And 1 times 5 is 5. So adding them up, I've got 1,500, 1,700 and 5. So my answer is 1,705. Okay, number 3, 67 times 6, which is partitioned into 60 and 7. My multiplier is 6. 60 times 6, well, I know that 6 times 6 is 36. Add on the 0 by making my answer 10 times bigger, 360. And then I've got 7 times 6, which is 42. If you needed to use column method to add these up, that's okay. So 360 plus 42 is going to be 402. Number 4, 289 times 7. My multiplier 7 goes there. Okay, 200 times 7. 2 times 7 is 14. Make my answer 100 times bigger. 8 times 7 is 56. Make my answer 10 times bigger by adding the 0. And 9 times 7 63. Now this is a little bit more complicated to add up, so I'm going to add using column method, making sure my columns are all lined up. Okay, I know I've got 3 in the ones. 6 plus 6 is 12. 4 plus 5 is 9, plus my 1 is 10. And 1 plus 1 is 2. So my answer is 2023. Number 5, 52 times 8. 52 is partitioned into 50 and 2. My multiplier is 8. 5 times 8 is 40. Make my answer 10 times bigger, 400. 8 times 2 is 16. And I know, calculating mentally, the answer is 416. 632 times 4. I've got 600, 30 and 2. My multiplier is 4. So 6 times 4 I know is 24. Make my answer 100 times bigger, 2,400. 3 times 4 is 12. Make my answer 10 times bigger here by adding 0. And 4 times 2 is 8. Now I can add this mentally. 2,400, 2,500 and 28. 2,528. Hopefully you got all of those right using the grid method to multiply.